Okay, let's get started on the test and what things are going to look like. So I am going to show you what we have on Canvas and talk a little bit more about what your test is going to be like. Well, let's start with your test will be on Tuesday. You will turn up at 12 o'clock. You can actually turn up 10 minutes early if you think you might need more time. So if you think and you're able to do it, you can turn up at 11:50, right? And your test will be on WebAssign, and I'll speak more about that later. It won't be your normal class Zoom link. Are you looking at test one information right now? There will be a link here that will be the Zoom link that you will use to come to the test. It's a different separate Zoom link, okay? And you need to, when you turn up, you need to have your video on. I need to see you as a way of security. I want to make sure that you don't have your big sister next to you, Eleanor, pointing out the answers or whatever, right? Not that you would do that, but I got a video. That's kind of my way of relieving that. Now, if you do not have your video, if it's broken or you forgot to get one, which is bad news because you need one, you can contact the college, IT, and there's links in Zoom. If you go looking for it, you'll be able to get it in my syllabus, for instance, and they can give you a loaner. Or a lot of people just use their phone. Right? So you can do Zoom on your phone, right? It's free, and I can see you that way. So far, so good. Can turn up 10 minutes early if you want to, but it will, you know, if you turn up late, you're using up your own time. It will last an hour. So theoretically, it will finish at 1 o'clock, right? Starts at 11:50/12, finishes at 1. When you are finished, you have 15 minutes to get your working for any questions that you may have working for online. So there won't probably be that much working. A lot of the questions you do are, here's a question, there's 5 answers, pick the right one. Okay, there's no working for that. Don't an awful lot of other questions, you hit the salt button and they get the answer from there. So I don't expect to see working for those ones. Right? Your test will be in WebAssign. It will just be called test 1. Right? And you'll see it and you'll be able to do it. But now and again, there are some questions where you could show me working. Do you know the one that we just did a minute ago, the conservative margin of error question? Couldn't you show me a lot of working for that one? You saw the stuff I did. The formula that you used, the numbers you put in, what you got. That would be a candidate for showing me working. Do you remember the questions to do with outliers? Isn't there a test bigger than or plus or minus 3 standard deviations? Remember that one for outliers? Couldn't you show me some working there to prove to me that 82 was an outlier or what? Isn't there also a test using the interquartile range for outliers? So if you got a question like, is 97 an outlier? Couldn't you use that test to prove to me why you said yes or no? Okay. Working those kinds of questions, working is very important. One is if you screw up, but the working is correct, you just, I don't know, you wrote 42 down when you should have wrote 24, right? Whatever it is, silly mistake. You didn't add when you should have multiplied or something. You still get partial credit. And the second reason is, if it's one of those questions, yes, it's an outlier or no, it's not, I don't want to see yes or no. I don't care, because couldn't you just guess and get lucky? I want to see what test you did. And if the test is right, you're getting the points. But just saying yes or no is no good, right? But that's pretty rare. The vast majority of questions I don't expect to see working. If you're not sure, just say to me in Zoom, I'm doing question 4. Do I need to show working, or what kind of working do you think I should be showing? And I might say, nope, I don't need any working. Or I might say, be nice to see the formula that you used and the numbers you used in that formula. So if you're not 100% sure, just ask. Okay, a lot to take in, but this video is going to get recorded, right? And so you can go back and look at it if you missed something. Any questions up to now?
Yeah, sorry, that's my cat. Is the working just gonna be like a scrap paper that we have that we're working on?
Okay, let's show you what that is. Essentially your question is, how am I going to show me you're working? Yeah, it will be on paper, right? Light paper, whatever. If you look over here, can you see Math 146 test 1 information? Right. If you look here, upload your test, and before that you see this thing called how to upload and use Microsoft Lens. You see that one there? That's one way in which you can show me you're working. It's probably only going to be on one page because I don't expect to see a lot. You know, most questions don't have working. But for those that do it, I would like to see it. So let me show you how you would do that. Right. If you click on this link, if you have an Android phone or a tablet, you can download a program that's free called Microsoft Lens. And here is an Apple device. So you get an Apple Mac or Apple phone, whatever. So long as you've got a camera, you can use it. Because basically what you do is you use typically your camera and an app, and you take a picture of your working. And here's a very long video that you don't need to watch all of it. It gives you a kind of rundown of all the things that are going to happen. Let's see if I can stop at the right place. A little bit too early. How about here? Oh, I thought I'd picked the sound. Okay, never mind. It does have sound. There we go. That thing there, he's using the camera on his phone through the app, right? So you look, you click on the app and it's got a little camera button and you take a picture of it and it's done. And I suggest that you practice doing that. I'll show you what I'm getting at. Once you have taken this picture, right? And here's a little video that I've made that shows you what I'm about to show you. When the test is finished, you have up until 1:15 to get it in, right? Picture taken, uploaded and that. If you've got other ways of doing it, that's okay. Some people have a printer and they just scan it, right? Whatever way it works. You click on this button and hit Start Assignment. And if you've got the things saved in OneDrive, can't you just click on OneDrive and get it that way? But if you've saved it, say, on your computer or your phone somewhere, hit Choose File. Imagine that you've already saved your working with a name like that, 143, whatever. And you just hit Open and last Submit. And it's done. Now you can practice this as many times as you like. So do some scribbles and bits of paper, take a picture of it and upload it in here. It won't matter because if you then click New Attempt, you can choose a file and you can choose the real one, right? The one where you're working in, hit Open again and then hit Submit. And guess what? It'll have rubbed out the old one and now you've got a new one. Right, and so I'll be able to see what your working is. Now, if you don't like using this software, you might have used in other classes Adobe Scan, you might have used in other classes Cam Scanner, or you might just choose to use your printer and scan it as a PDF. I don't really care how it becomes a PDF, but it kind of needs to be a PDF to load it up into Canvas. Any questions about that? Are we good? I think fine, this is good, I hope. Let's look at the last piece of the puzzle then. what is going to be in your test? Well, let's use this guy here. Getting started with WebAssign and Salt will not be in your test. You will be doing chapters 2 to chapters 5. We don't do 4, we've never done 4. Now, if you look at that, can you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 topics? Right? And you will get 8 questions. And some questions might have an A and a B to it. But about half those questions will be really quick. Do you know the ones where they give you a story and say, what kind of sample is this? And you pick from a choice of 4 or 5. You probably get one question, might be 2 of those. Other questions, on the other hand, might involve a lot more work, you know, numerical summaries or something. Of course, if there's a salt button on your question, will you please use the salt button, because it'll make your life so much quicker. Because don't you just hit the salt button and, you know, go to the place you need to go and you've got your answer. So one question from each of those chapters 2, 3, and 5. Any questions?
Yeah, so just to double check, sorry. There's going to be like roughly like 8 or 10 questions.
There'll be 8 questions, but some questions might have an A and a B to them.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And
your test will be in order. In other words, the first question you're going to get is on types of variable. To remember they were categorical and numerical and ordinal and something like that. So you can imagine what kind of question that's going to look like. Pretty quick, right? Not a lot going on there. That one won't take you any length of time. Other questions off the top of my head. Do you know when we say question?
Yeah, I have a question. Are we going to be able to go in and out of our quiz? In other words, do we have to do it all at once, or is there a time limit?
You're going to do it inside WebAssign, right? So, right. But you are allowed any written notes that you have made. So if you've got notes that you've got, or a textbook or whatever, if it's physically written down on a piece of paper in some way or another, it is acceptable. You can use it. You're also allowed to use your TI-84 calculator. You're also allowed to use salt. You know, some questions will have a salt button, in which case you should use them, right? So that is all acceptable. What else do I need to say? Yeah, all the information that is in Canvas will disappear except the one thing that is here at the beginning, this guy here. So the test 1 information, that will be there. But see all the homework stuff and the homework help and the notes and all that good stuff that's down here, that will not be visible. WebAssign, all the homework will have disappeared. So you won't be able to go back into previous homework questions. Actually, do you know your test is just going to be made up of questions very similar to the ones you did in homework, right? So they're not going to be anything that unusual, these things you've seen. But that will have disappeared. So you can only work on what you remember and what you've written notes for. Are we good? Any questions? Because this is going really fast, which is not bad.
And the link to the test is going to be under test 1 information?
The link for the test will be in WebAssign. It will look just like a homework, right? It'll be in WebAssign just like all the other homeworks are, but it will be called test 1.
To be recorded though, is that just going to be through this Zoom link?
Yeah, not this Zoom link. I will send out a unique test 1 Zoom link, right? A special Zoom link for the test. It didn't sound like I answered your question well.
Nope, that answered it. Thank you.
Is it? Okay, right. Do you know how you come to this class with a Zoom link that you've been using for the last 3 weeks? I have a different Zoom link for the test. And all my tests are on the same day, which is bad planning for me. But if I have one link, it means I don't need to keep on going out and in for different classes. So everybody's using the same link. Even although you're my stats class, you might find out that I still have some people from my Calc 2 class, and you'll wonder, who's he? I've never seen him before. Well, don't worry about it. It's just somebody from the last class. So that's why it's a single link. I don't think that's a biggie, right? Little note to self. I'll send you out an email with that special Zoom link on it. I will also put that Zoom link inside test one, right? So if you can't find the email, you just click on it. Would that be enough for you to be okay to know where to go? Right, special Zoom link. What else? What else? I think I've covered all the good stuff. Oh, no, a couple of things. Homework right now is set up to be due on Sunday, but one of my other students said, since Monday's our holiday, could we get another day? And so, yes. So eventually I will go after the next class, because I have a class right after this one, and I will change the due date for your homework to be midnight Monday. But homework is a drop dead date. There is no extensions for week 3 homework. So whatever you get done up to midnight, that's the end of it. When you come back after the test, we're starting fresh, a new batch of work. You've been given enough time to do it. Plus, if you don't do the last 2 sections of homework, I don't think the test is probably going to be your best day. So you might as well get 0.5% for theoretically finishing your homework as best you could on time. So that 0.5% is probably going to be worth more. Your worst test is dropped. Not that you're going to have a horrible test. Make this one a really good one. But if it's not the best that you wanted, it's not the end of the day, because I'll just throw it out and hopefully the other 2 tests will be better. But if I want to be honest with you, which I do, this test is going to be the easiest of the 3. So really try and do a really good one, so one of the other 2s can be the one that you kick out. So put the best work into this one. This is going to be the easier of the 3 to do well in, I would suggest. Okay, I'm open for more questions. What you got? Oh, have I answered all the obvious things that you wanted to know? Have I told you too much information? You don't know what you don't know? If you suddenly think of a question, send me an email and I will reply to it. If it's a question that I think, oh, that was a good question, I wish I'd thought of it, in the email that I send you, which I won't send you until probably tomorrow to give you enough time to, communicate with me, I will put in, oh yeah, someone said this, here is the information, right?